Happy New Year. This is Sharon Vornholt with the Louisville Gals Real Estate blog, and I have a quick video for you today on the 7 steps to start the new year off running. Every year there are some things that you should do prior to the beginning of the first of the year, but if you're like most people, those things just don't get done until usually the first part of January. We all get caught up in the holidays. So if you haven't done these things, now is the time. So here we go. Number 1 is organize your workspace. Clean off your desk. Take everything off your desk that you don't use, if not every day, a lot. Now I leave my calculator up on my desk even though I don't use it every single day. I use it most days. Other things I stick in the drawer, paper clips, those sorts of things that I use a lot, but you know, I just want my workspace to be clear. And I can tell you this, you will be a whole lot more productive if you have a nice organized workspace. So number 2 would be to clean out your files. Purge last year's bills and receipts and all of the things that you need to keep for last year's business. Take them out of the current year's files. Now what I do is I put them in a lateral file drawer. They're still in my office in case I need to pull something, a bill or a receipt or things even like quarterly taxes. I just move last year's information over to a drawer. Now at the end of this year, I will box those things up. I keep my current year and then I keep last year's over in a drawer. Number 3 is to transfer your dates, important dates and things you need to be reminded of to your new calendar. If you're like me, you made a dentist appointment maybe way back in September that's going to come up in May or June, and I wrote that in the back of my calendar so that I would remember to put it on my new calendar. Now I go so far as to put birthdays and anything important that I want to remember. I try to keep one big calendar for all those sorts of things. The other thing I do is I write myself notes back on the end of December. Like this year I found myself with an abundance of Christmas cards for whatever reason. So I wrote myself a note on next November when I would typically be shopping for those sorts of things. Don't buy Christmas cards because you have a million. So number 4 would be incompletes. Now incompletes are things that you didn't quite get done. Now they may be things on your to-do list and they may be things on your goals. Hopefully you had your goals done for last year. So take a look at things that are still hanging on your to-do list. Do you really need to still do those things, or do you just need to cross them off and be okay with crossing them off? Now, where your goals are concerned, most people find that their business goes off in a different direction over the course of a year. So there may be something on your goals from last year that just doesn't serve your business now, or something that you no longer have an interest in doing. It's okay just to let those things go. You want to start out fresh. So speaking of goals, if you haven't done your goals, now is the time that you have to do your goals. If you're thinking that you need a couple of hours to get this job done, I don't want you to think of it that way. Just take that blank sheet of paper that you're looking at and write down 3 to 5 big things, and then get them refined as quickly as you can, but don't feel like you have to get them done today. Just get something down on that paper, and so that you start off with some direction in this new year. Now, if you haven't done up a marketing plan, if you're a real estate investor, you need a marketing plan. Depending on which niche you're in or which strategies you use, the marketing plan will be different for each person. But now's the time to start getting your marketing calendar in order. Most people truthfully can't do that for a whole year. I found that I work well if I do the first 90 days of the year, and then each month if I update it after that. Now I will say that if I know that I've got a seminar or a meeting later in the year, I go ahead and put those sorts of things on the calendar Everything goes on my marketing calendar too, like times when I'll be gone, because I may need to adjust those dates. If you create content, now's a good time to think of at least a 30-day content calendar. I have found that when I'm scrambling around for an idea on what to do for a blog post or something that I need to write, it is much harder when I'm in that position than if I've planned it out for even a couple of weeks. You just don't want to be always in that reactive mode. Now, finally, the last thing, number 7, is to pick one thing that you've been avoiding, one thing that you've been dreading or that you've put off forever that you really do need to do, and just do it. It might be a project, it might be something as simple as a phone call, but don't let last year's baggage weigh you down when you're just starting off a brand new year. Go ahead and just bite the bullet. If you've got 5 things, pick a day or a couple of days or however long it takes, depending on how big these things are, and just do it. Like Nike says, just do it. Just start the new year off with a clean slate. Now, if you have any tips or things you'd like to tell me that you do at the end of every year, I'd love to hear about those. So you can send me an email or just leave them here on the blog. This is Sharon Vornholt, and I'll be back soon with another video or some tips for you. Thanks.